What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe, and we're going to talk about the AMPREX in this build video. So I'm finally bringing it to you. 3 Forma in on this one. That's what I ended up going with to make my build, to make me happy with it. This is a Tower 2 survival. I had a Tower 3. I didn't record it like I thought I did, so I had to do a Tower 3 because I ran out of Tower 3 survival keys right now. Nonetheless, hopefully you enjoy it, and we'll still get the same effect out of this, so you can see how the weapon runs. Okay, personal opinions. I like this one better than the Synops, with the fact that this has such a chaining effect. It gives you more chance to kill more enemies at one time. And that chaining effect is insane with this weapon. So, with that said, let's talk about this here. So we got the basics. It's a 7.5 electricity. It's a straight elemental, so you're not going to put in specific base damage mods. There's a couple you can put in, but nothing specific for like impact, puncture, or slash, because they're just useless on this. They won't work since it's a straight elemental. Accuracy 12.5. Fire rate is actually quite high at 20. If you're initially using the weapon, you're gonna burn through ammo like it's nothing. The critical of 2 times damage times 50% means it's definitely a critical build. We got a really high status chance on here, base status chance of 20%, status per second, proccing ability, 100 magazine, 2.7 reload. It's a held trigger, and so we know how that goes. So you're going to burn through ammo in the beginning of this weapon, the usage, but as you move on, there is a way to change that around just a bit, and it'll help you out. So, where I'm at with this, I've got a 60.3 electricity base damage now. It's definitely an increase from the 7.5. My accuracy is still the same at 12.5. My fire rate is now down to 12.8, which is a good thing. We wanted to lower that fire rate. We now brought the critical 5.6 damage times 150% basically, or 149% if you will. So I call it 150% for anything. So we got a 100% chance to crit with this weapon every time, and an additional 50% to super crit or red crit with this weapon, as it will now that DE has brought red critting back. And you can see there's tons of that going on in this video. In addition, I bought my status chance of 62%, which really gives me a lot more chaining effect in the proccing, and a stun chance as well. The stun is what I'm going for mostly. However, stun doesn't affect all enemies, but it affects most of them. So we're going to be happy with that. But 62% means pretty much the way this weapon is built right now, going to pretty much proc all the time as well. So you'll always see it chaining, as it should. Still the same magazine size, 100. Still a reload of 2.7, which is quite high. I just didn't have the space based on my build to change that, so we'll just kind of leave it. But the conclave I came up with is a 334 out of this. So let's kind of go through this, if we will. I definitely like this weapon. Like I said, I think I like this one better than the Synops, to be honest. Just the whole chaining effect with this weapon makes it more effective. In my opinion, you can take out more enemies at one time, of course. But with that said, so we're going to start out here with a full end serration mod, max serration mod, 165% base damage increase. And then the other thing I did was I added in a split chamber, so a multi-shot on this, which allows me obviously to bring that chaining even more, because you're just shooting electricity everywhere. I did try heavy caliber on the weapon. I didn't like it with heavy caliber. It was a little bit too hard to control what was happening with it in heavy caliber, so I took heavy caliber back off. That's just personal preference for me, and you're welcome to try it out yourself anyway, but that's just my preference. I didn't like it with the heavy caliber on. Alright, so then we wanted to go ahead and build in our basics for critical chances. So we did a point strike and a max point strike, bringing 150% critical chance in here, which actually originally brings you up to 125% chance to crit. with the max on here, so that immediately you're over your 100% critical chance with the setup. And then what I did was I also added a critical delay mod, another 48% critical chance, and a negative 35% fire rate, which with this weapon actually works out very well, because now you're conserving ammo while you're using the weapon. If that makes sense. And since it's an electricity, it's kind of like the phage. If you slow down the fire rate, you're going to get more out of it for less usage, if you will. So critical delay is found inside derelicts on vault runs. So if you find this card, that's where you're going to go ahead and get it if you're interested in knowing where that's at, if you don't have it yet. So now we've got our base on here at the 149% critical chance. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start adding in our damage multiplier here. So we're going to add in a Vital Sense with an additional 120% critical damage. So we're bringing that critical damage up. I guess it brings it up to like 4.2 with this weapon. And then to increase it a little bit more, we add a Hammer Shot on here for an additional 60% critical chance, bringing it up to that 5.6. Plus, we're starting to build our status chance here with our 40% status chance increase. So now we have the critical damage at 149%. We have, I'm sorry, at 5.6 times 149%. So this is what makes this weapon awesome at this point. And then what I did was to add in a little more. I actually used the high voltage card. If you don't have high voltage, you can go with a regular electricity. You'll lose some of the status effect, but you'll still have a decent enough, like 40-some-odd% status chance, so it'll still be a good status chance. But I went with high voltage, gives a little more electricity, and obviously the extra status chance with this weapon, and that made me happy. Still, I have one more slot in here, and so I was kind of playing around with a bunch of different items, and I ended up, the only way that I could find this to be effective was to actually add in a rifle mutation mod. I've got a level 6 or level 2 out of the 3 on the card, which is enough to pick up the ammo that's on the ground and convert it to keep me running for a while. It's not 100% perfect. If you carry around with you the ammo regen, that kind of helps out from time to time, though it doesn't give you much. Even if it only gives you the 80 additional back into the clip, that's enough just to get you going until you can kill more things. If you run into that situation, you run into the situation here in the Void where you actually run out of ammo more often than not than anywhere else. But with that said, I went ahead and I put that on here. Now what I'm doing to help make sure that I'm getting all the ammo off the ground is I have my carrier with me. However, my carrier is passive, just so you can actually see how this weapon really works. So I unequipped the mod that allows the weapon to actually shoot, and so it's a pure passive, just meant to pick up items off the ground, and that helps me to grab all the ammo, the clips that are down there, while the rifle mutation mod is doing its job converting all the ammo. And as you can see, it works fairly well. Cool boy. Yes, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I can send you an invite. Sure. I'd be happy to have you in the clan. We still have space in the clan available. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is how I've got it built. It took me a little while, like I said. It's 3 Forma to get into it this way. I'm happy with it this way. There's additional ways that you could build it. You could change around the element a little bit if you wanted to, but I just felt that with the stunning and chaining effect of this weapon for the proccing chance at 62% and the unbelievable crit chance that this has, it just feels pretty much perfect for me. I've taken it every mission that is out there and had some pretty successful runs with it. And I like it. I like it better than I like the Synops. I mean, I like the Synops, and you can build the Synops with basically the same style build, or even the same build for that matter, and come out with the same kind of critical chance. on it. You won't get the same kind of status effect. It didn't have the status, I don't believe. But yeah, this thing is hell of a fun, as you can see. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hit that like button for me if you did like it. If you got any comments, you know, feel free to leave me comments below. If you've got a build, different variation of the build, you think something else would work more effectively in the build, you know, feel free to leave it in comments below. I'm willing to try out different things. Obviously, it helps out others. Ooh, Forma, we'll take it. Helps out others that may be looking for something slightly different, you know, because nobody's going to have anything perfect, but at least you have something to work with. And I'm going to go ahead and throw up the actual build on the video screen here in just a second, so you can actually see my final build of what I've done here. Again, this is 3 Forma in, and this has made me a happy camper with this weapon. You've seen it in a lot of my videos already. This is the way I've been running it for a while. So, again, hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. Do feel free to subscribe. Tell your friends, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you soon.